Welcome back. For those of you who know, we now have renamed this wonderful podcast Fat, Drunk, and Happy. Not because we are fat, drunk, and happy all the time, but because if you die fat, drunk, and happy, you lived a well life.
Absolutely.
You won something. You won the fucking award. That's really what it is.
Absolutely.
And I just said a bad word only to lead you into for you apologizing for your mom for cussing in this next segment, which is going to happen.
Yeah, no, Mom, sorry for saying fuck all the time, but I get it from you. I love you. Shout out.
Oh, you definitely got her fucking definitely got you made.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
You definitely got it from her.
Thank you for that.
Dude.
Yeah,
no
I appreciate it.
No worries. I just wanted that visual to set in.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Strong.
I'm ruined the rest of the podcast. I don't know what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
That's okay, dude. The fact that you still are thinking about it is a little awkward. I'm not going to lie. The fact that it's still a thing makes me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, I tell the story. My mom got inspired by me being in cooking and got out of being an office manager at a medical facility for years, working with doctors, and got into being a prep cook. And she sweared so much, they made a no swearing rule because of my mom when she was in her 50s. Gangster.
So she was cooking in her 50s as a prep cook.
Yeah, and she would come home and be like, oh, they taught me to do this today. They told me to take the kitchen towel and soak it in oil and rub it on the grill, and it caught on fire. I'm like, yeah, I need to go to that restaurant and smack those people that are mistreating my mother. She's going to wind up in the ER lighting herself on fire.
Just put the oil on the grill. You'll be okay.
Yeah, no, it's totally safe. Yeah, that's how we, okay.
100%. 100%. So in this segment, we're going to be eating some goat cheese, which, Tony, you can't eat that bread alone. We're just eating good cheese, dude. And I've decided just in the last little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about debunking the truth behind making everything and kind of the products that come out. Only because it's been I'm going to say a mindfuck at the least for me, because originally before labor got so crazy, there was a time when I could tell you straight up and look you in the eye, I could make it better.
Yeah.
Except for bread, because I didn't have the tools to make bread right. I didn't have a steam oven or whatever. So I never, if I had the product, I probably could have made it better if I had the machinery.
Sure.
However, I went, no, I'm not going to take that battle on, nor do I want my kitchen dedicated to bread. So I've always bought bread, no matter what. But I brought it local and fresh, which now is we're learning, and I learn every day that I can get bread from the East Coast that's IQF, cheaper, better, more consistent.
Yep.
And honestly, outdoes what you can get fresh daily for the most part. There's always an exception for those who are going to yell at me online or whatever. That's okay. It's only oil. So good.
There'll be some thread.
I'll put some behind my ear. It's the best way. It'll be ode to Cody later.
California olive rich olive oil with Kabaku goat cheese from Laura Chanel. A little bit of that behind the ear every day would be a great way to start your day.
Yeah, a little of that right above my butt crack.
There you go.
With the rainbow tattoo will be okay. But so I think the debunking of that's its real thing. Like nowadays, I can honestly tell a chef, hey, look, man, no matter how good you are, there's no way you can make it cheaper and better and more consistent than certain products. Obviously, I would tell you right now that nobody makes a better torchon, which you had in mind. Yeah. The vanilla torchon. But what it cost me to make that, I never made any money on that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you can buy one from Hudson Valley that's not as great. It's pretty close, and it's just open and go.
No, my ego that it's the best thing on the planet.
Of course.
But the end goal was I should have just bought it and realized what I was doing and added vanilla flake or something over it and created that in a different way that saved me the 16, 18, 20 bucks an hour for the labor. And that is the modern day is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's the debunking of, the term IQF we just brought up, which is individually quick frozen for those of you that don't know. Individually quick frozen means that it's done with a blast chiller. You take a product at room temperature, you put it down, and within, I think it's 20 minutes. Don't quote me. I don't know the exact time. 15, 20, 30 minutes. It takes it from what it is to a negative temperature that's completely frozen beyond whatever, and then it holds at freezing temperature till you use it. And everybody's like, oh, it's a frozen product. Well, an IQF product is different than a frozen product. A lot of fish, by the way, if you're saying that you have fresh shrimp in a restaurant, you have IQF shrimp. Yeah. Period. It does not come fresh unless it's head on.
Any seafood coming in from outside of the United States is frozen, usually on the boat.
On the boat.
On the boat.
Yeah. I can what they call bullets. So they take the back half of the tail, kunk. They have the sides, the back part, whatever the round is, that goes into a deep freeze right on the boat. When it comes out, that bullet gets sold. The defrosting process of the shipping is when it gets to wherever you bought it from. It's defrosted now, which they're calling fresh. That is now your fresh sea bass, especially for all you silly bastards that say you like fresh sea bass. Unless you're in Chile, hence the name Chilean sea bass. you're not having fresh sea
You
bass.
want fresh fish, go to the Caribbean islands, go to the Virgin Islands and get it from the guy.
You can go to Huntington and have fresh beer cans.
Yeah, there you go.
We call that fish in some places.
I mean, I get the quest for wanting the freshest, but it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Is as a chef, you think you know everything about food, and then you realize, wait a second, I only know a little bit about food, and I'm learning more now that I'm on the sales side. And there's amazing products. The gap is closing. So
when you say the gaps are closing, explain that so people know what you're talking about.
Yeah, gap's closing in the sense of, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, fresh was better. But now there's people making amazing products and doing the IQF process and getting you something from somewhere. And it's amazing, you know, and it's not always the best olives come from down the street or the best fish comes from. No, sometimes there's amazing stuff in seasons from certain parts of the country or certain parts of the world, and it only comes from there a certain time of year.
Well, let's debunk one thing for sure. The word local.
Yeah.
Or farm to table is what it turned into. Those of you that believe in this concept, I want you to put your head firmly in your butthole. And I say that in the nicest way, only because I want to explain to you what local means. We live in Southern California. Yes, there's farms here. Most of our farms are growing avocados, oranges, tomatoes. Some of them tomatoes, but tomatoes are only seasonal.
Yep.
And then and that's it. So unless you have a restaurant that serves avocados only during some seasons and tomatoes only during some seasons and nothing else. Your farms, your ranches, Harris Ranch is probably your nearest beef farm, maybe New Mexico.
Yeah.
Right, or Arizona.
Brant, I think, is out in Arizona.
Okay, so that's
beef.
So that would, if you're saying within something and that's local, it's still not local.
Yeah.
That's still a trek for a dead cow to come to you.
Yeah. And when I was in Austin, Texas with a sales guy talking about vinegar last year, he said everybody wants Texas beef, but Texas beef actually sucks. Like Nebraska beef is where it's at, baby. The Iowa, Nebraska, that's where the pigs are coming from.
Right. Well, let's put it this way:
Yeah.
would you be happier if you ate corn every day or grass?
Yeah.
Corn.
Corn.
Right. So why would you want anything that eats grass? Oh, that's a Texas cow is grass fed.
Well,
grass fed is not now. There is a group of people that love that. Don't get me wrong, but there's earthy qualities to grass fed beef. I am not a fan.
It's also chewy with no marbling and the flavor's not as good. And most grass fed still has to be corn finished, otherwise it'll be so lean. It's like chewing on cardboard.
Right. Well, we'll debunk that next. So let's stick with local because grass fed, I'm with you. Not a huge fan. I've tried inconsistent, not beefier product, a little bit gamey. People be like, "Oh, is this bison?" You're like, "No."
We had a restaurant owner when I was in Maryland working at a restaurant probably like 12 years ago, and he shows up with a coffin freezer one day, and we're like, "What is this?" And he had subprimal a cow, and he's like, "I just fed it grass." It had no marbling. It looked worse than a select. We couldn't do anything with it. Like, why didn't you do any research or tell us you were going to do this?
It's horrible.
It's disgusting. No.
So we might as well just say grass-fed. If you're into it, congratulations, enjoy. As far as a restaurant goes, serving all grass-fed beef or grass-fed something. By the way, grass grows in shit along with everything else, in case you didn't know. So every animal is eating something that grows in poop. I mean, it's just how it goes, right? This life cycle is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. And so local. So there's nothing really local. Everything comes from Mexico or comes from overseas or comes from where it comes from. A lot of it is up north, back east, all over. A lot of it's imported. The tomatoes that you guys are getting, all these Italian tomatoes and pasta sauces, which I'm sure Tony, the pasta sauce man of the myth, the legend, the Italian stallion will tell you, nobody uses fresh tomatoes in pasta sauce because they would not taste like tomatoes.
And San Marzanos. For the win.
Absolutely.
Come on.
San Marzano paste. There's what I'm saying is that you guys in this local breed of whatever, I'm glad your lettuce came from somewhere in Mexico you want to call local, but it's not a real thing, right? Am I right? And now in the buying side, nothing is really local. Like if you have a if somebody who said they were farm to table right now, literally their menu would have to be like preset, only a couple items. It would be super, uber freaking expensive.
There would be a huge backlash from guests that are used to getting whatever they want on a menu. Because then when you take your menu down to what's only available a certain season from right down the street, it becomes so limited that the menu would only have a couple items. And guests are so spoiled and used to getting tomato sauce year round, they would freak out. And you would have this like crisis of angry consumers, right?
Could you imagine if pizza places shut down when tomato season ended?
Holy smokes, this country would probably go end of days. End of days.
Sorry,
end
no
of days.
marinara or pizza sauce until summer. You're like, what?
There's amazing farmers out here. Weiser Farms, McGrath. You used to go to the farmers market every Wednesday at Santa Monica for Tar and Roses. Amazing stuff. It changed frequently with the season. So we would change our menu. And luckily, our clientele got that. But so many people don't. I mean, think about these people that claim to be foodies and want local. And it's like 10% of the country, if that, right? So how do you get everybody else to care? So we have to just import stuff.
But we're from California.
Yeah.
Everything grows. The land of fruits and nuts.
Yeah.
That people think that's real food. They're talking about the people.
Yeah.
It's us they're talking about. I'm one of them. The fruit and the nut. I'll take it, dude.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really happen, dude. The local cuisine is not a real thing.
No.
That's the first debunking of all restaurants. And I was a chef during the whole time where farm to table happened. And I'll tell you right now, I was pissed. The restaurants were saying farm to table. They were buying from a purveyor.
Yeah.
Some of them buying from a farm for a product they used in a dish that they could say Marcona olives, which Marcona is not local, by the way, but it's farm to table. Really, no, it's farm to distributor to you. Yeah. And still, the people were saying that. So I hope that ends. I hope that trend is gone.
Hard to say because a lot of people dug into believing that it's real, and it's still just like a marketing thing. Kind of like organic.
If you go to Napa and you eat on a winery that has a farm that has a specific menu where you're sitting there, which they do exist, don't get me wrong, and you look out and people are out there and they have the wine, your table wine that came from the vineyard, and you have the vast of what's going on there, and the menu's like, this is what it is, and you're eating it, and that's it, then you're eating farm to table.
Yeah.
The ranch does a good job of having select things from their farm out of Irvine.
Those guys do an amazing job.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chefs out there and bartenders that are doing that.
I think that's the only one here.
Maybe here, but there's some guys in LA and San Francisco trying to do it as well.
Well, they do it to the extent they can.
Yeah, no one's 100%.
Nobody's 100%.
It's impossible.
There are places in the wine country and out back where there is that. And obviously overseas this happens all the freaking time. When I was in France, there were guys that literally you go there, you ate what they picked out of their garden that day.
Yeah, or the Ecology Center thing down in San Juan Capistrano with Patty Glennon and Evan Marks back in the day. I used to participate in that every year, and you were only allowed to use stuff within like 100 miles.
But that was an event.
That was an event. One time.
Because then the shit was gone.
Yeah, it was gone.
It's not enough room to sell it.
We fed 250 people and it was gone.
Crop.
See you later. It's tough to do. It's just another one of those marketing things that people buy into.
Lay more poop.
Yeah.
Grow more plants. Eat those plants. I don't know where this
It's just a marketing thing, man. Like most people still are convinced that chefs make a ton of money and are rock stars and have this great life, and then they're like, "Wait, you barely make enough to pay your bills and work 14 hours a day."
I go, no, I got a job in a restaurant so I could drink for free.
Yeah, right. That's pretty much it.
That was my first whole goal. I'm like, wait a minute, I can be a bartender, and that's my okay.
You mean I could do shots of Jameson and eat food? Yeah. Okay, awesome.
Best bartending when I first started. I worked with Fridays, and this is way off topic, and then we'll go back. But I started working at Fridays, and I was bartending there or whatever, and they sent me to this corporate Fridays so I could learn how to open other Fridays, right? And at the time we had kid cups, and at the first Fridays I worked on, we were like, they would have these kid cups that had clear lids, so obviously you could see in them, and they decided that they didn't want the kids to have that, so they couldn't see when they were at the bottom of their glass because maybe they would drink less to keep the parents happy, right? And so then they put red lids for the kids cup with the kids straws, and they told us, you guys have to drink out of the kids cup so they don't spill because they're the only ones with lids, right?
Yeah.
Well, you can't now tell if it's a Jack and Coke or an Adios or whatever it is in the kids cup.
Yeah.
And so we would just like, whatever we made that was left over would go straight into the kids cup with the lid, and that would go straight on the counter.
Perfect.
Boss is like, how are you? You're taking a drink out of your kids cup.
My water's amazing.
With a bright yellow straw and a red cup. And I was like, dude, I got hammered. And then the best thing is from then on, I went to this corporate deal where then they had everything on the gun.
Yeah.
So if you want Jack and Coke, you had Jack and Coke, and it was on the gun. You didn't pour any bottles.
That's dangerous.
So your rum and Coke, your Jack and Coke, all your wells were straight out of a gun. So no matter what cup I was putting it in, it looked like soda. And so the best part was like servers would come with my friends or the chick I was trying to date at the time, and they were like, hey, can I get a drink from you? And all of them had to come to the service well to get their drinks, so we knew what they were having. And I would just pour them Jack and Cokes all night, right? Like the whole restaurant's hammered, and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Hey, how do you track that, by the way?
I don't.
You can't. That's a corporate company. That's like how crazy this industry is. Everybody like, oh, we're corporate. You got to figure it out. No, you're doing Jack.
It was the best, and they'd be like, what do you do?
Wow.
And then they would tell me you have to taste all the drinks to make sure, just with a straw, make sure you taste everything. So I smelled like booze anyway.
Yeah.
And then I would just pour myself Crown and 7 all night.
Oh, the hospitality industry, baby.
It was like the genius of this job.
Yeah.
is the reason that I almost died numerous times.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
That's really what happened.
We had, even at high-end restaurants, we had signals. Like, this was a family meal, and family meal wasn't family staff meal.
Safety
Family
meeting. If I said safety meeting, what was
that
that?
means we're getting to the end of the bar in the middle of the rush and smashing down a shot of Fernet. Like,
Or
we don't even care. We're not trying to hide it. We're just getting after it.
We've talked about Fernet meetings in the walk-in out here before, and it's a true story. Fernet me not, my friend. Fernet me not. It's a true deal.
I can't even touch that stuff anymore. I had so much back in the day.
Really?
Oh man,
dude, it's like it runs in my veins. I think still, whether I like it or not. Not the Barranca, not the Menta. The Menta makes me feel like I brushed my teeth and did something wrong all at the same time. But everything else, I'm in. So back to debunking though. So so local farm to table, unless it's like literally you're looking at it, it doesn't exist. It is my opinion. You agree? Not agree?
Absolutely. And like I said, I keep learning more and more about where things are coming from in the process. You're like, whoa, wait a second. Yeah, this whole farm to table thing, it's great that chefs are trying to attempt it, but no one can do it 100%. And if they are, good for you. Hey, I want to come eat at your restaurant. Please, if you're listening to this, send me an invite. I want to come eat 100% farm to table, but it's very rare.
We will come there and do a podcast from your garden.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
And I will pick out of the poop and eat while you cook stuff for me, and we'll talk about it.
The only time I really pulled it off was when we used to cater in Maryland for a very affluent guy, interior designer. He had a 5-acre farm of garden that he let us harvest from. So this dude would pay for us to come harvest from his garden and do a tasting menu to impress his friends. And it was beautiful. And we also got paid to not have to buy product either. But that was the only time we really were able to do local.
Yeah, farm to table.
From his freaking farm in the backyard. And that was it. It's very rare, man. So it's debunked.
Debunked.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, like tuna. Come on. Tuna's coming in from elsewhere. Sea bass, shrimp, all that stuff. So
By the way, tuna story. And seafood for sure. Most seafood guys, the truth is, unless you're getting it, and I want to talk about farm salmon for a minute. Now, I'm not a pro at this, so don't quote everything I'm saying right now.
Yeah.
However, I have cooked wild, fresh, not fresh, out of a bag, frozen, wild, frozen out of a bag, Alaskan, Scottish. I think I've cooked every kind of salmon you could possibly bring in.
Yeah.
At one place or another, from New Orleans to New York to everywhere else. Everybody has salmon on their menu.
Schooner Bay, Ora King.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than the nouveau farm salmon I can get from Dry Dock in Fullerton. Best fat content. No pink pellets to make it do whatever.
Yeah.
The farm is stream, where they swim upstream.
Yep.
Start at the beginning, do the end. They live a full life cycle, but it's still considered farmed. It cooks perfect, and it's never frozen because you can ship it in a day.
Yeah.
And that is the best salmon I've ever had. And by no means is it wild in any way, shape, or form. The word wild, I think, is not always better.
Yeah. Think about, has anybody watched a video of how there's trash piles in the ocean and we're going to go fish seafood from the wild?
That trash pile.
That's like swimming around and living in trash. And there's people posting, oh, we made these biodegradable beer can covers so that turtles can eat them. I'm like, that's gross. That's how dirty our oceans are. So I think there's going to become this point where there's a shift where the oceans have become so polluted and dirty from us crazy human cockroaches just growing and polluting, where I would rather get a farmed product that's done the right way. Yeah, there used to be farms where they would feed them pellets to give them the color, but that's going away, and they've got it down with technology. It's another evolution of humanity figuring out ways to do it better than it was done, because we're eating so much seafood, it's running out.
Well, even the other day, I had a family member that bought this. She's like, oh, I went and got the best salmon I could find. And I looked at it, it's like wild salmon. I'm like, oh, this is going to taste weird to you. It's going to be mealy.
Yeah.
It's not going to have a texture to it.
Yeah.
You can't cook it medium rare because it's going to be mushy.
Yeah.
It's been frozen. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, you could see it on the outside. Like, I mean, no, I know that you wouldn't catch that, but I'm telling you right now, that's been a frozen product before. And she was like, yeah, but it's wild, organic salmon. And I'm like, okay. So I went down, I got a piece of the salmon.
Yeah.
For $8.99 or whatever it was. And I was like, look, this is not, it's like beautifully cut in sushi grade, which, by the way, there's no grade named sushi grade. You guys didn't know.
Yeah.
There's no sashimi grade fish. It's not really a grade, right?
I'm not really an expert on that. That's not my forte, but I wouldn't be surprised.
So just so you guys know, true story when I ask, there is no such thing as a sashimi grade fish.
Marketing.
There's marketing. Well, sashimi sells good fish, right? Like you think, oh, it's the best. It could be sashimi grade. No such thing. That just means that it could be used for sashimi, but there's grade A tuna, grade B tuna, grade whatever. There's no sashimi grade.
I ate at a sushi restaurant in Arizona the other week, and I told you I was sick afterwards. It did not look like it was sashimi or sushi or any grade. Yeah,
oceanfront property.
Yeah, like gross
in Arizona. Yeah, sushi in Arizona, dude. I don't know what to say, man.
Hey, man, I miss Southern California cuisine. I like sushi. It's just hard to find.
I love
good quality
sushi,
in Arizona.
But I'm telling you, the best salmon that you have will have the fat content you're looking for, and that's going to be out of a farm raised. No wild salmon can get enough nutrients from the regular world that's not fed something where the water's not full of the right thing. Yeah. So you have to farm it in order to fill it with the right thing. And then that salmon turns out beautiful. And nowadays, of course, there's going to be some asshole that farms salmon wrong. Yeah. There's going to be. Like, that's just inevitable. However, what I'm talking about is doing your homework and getting the best farm-raised salmon. Yeah. I would put against a wild salmon or steelhead any day of the week.
Even the Pacific sea bass that they do off the coast of Baja in these huge pens in the ocean where it's in the ocean in pens, wild farm raised. They do a fantastic job. Just these little 1 pound sea bass fish that are amazing. And that's the direction we need to go. Because
control the environment, even though the environment's real.
I don't want trash salmon. And I'll be honest, I go to Whole Foods sometimes to grab a side of salmon or sea bass when I'm catering for a group of people in Arizona. And it's depressing looking. It looks old. It looks beat up and falling apart. And like, this isn't quality. And they're charging like $26 to $30 a pound for seafood, and people just don't know any better. They don't. It's like,
fresh shrimp. Yeah. I love that when I see that in the store.
Gross.
That's my favorite. It's all defrosted on the ice pile. You're like, gross. Come on, bro.
It's like the eyes are blurry on the whole fish, and it just looks, oh, no.
So here's the next one I want to throw at you and see what you think about it, is the term fresh brie. Or new brie, or brie even in America. So the cheese laws in America is that you can't have anything under 30 days. You can't have new because it's sitting in the temperature danger zone for too long. Yeah, it's not cured enough. I believe I'm right. I don't know the whole story, but this is my.
I don't know about that.
So technically, you can't get real brie. Like, so in France, when you go there, like when I was there. When you eat brie, it's like whenever it was formed and ready, triple creme or whatever, you ate it. Yeah, it was under 30 days. Yeah, nothing was over 30.
But
days.
we have these crazy rules in this country to keep us safe.
So our keep us safe is over 30 days.
Yeah. Okay.
So what I'm saying is brie, which means
brie is that the bloomy rind inoculated, which by the way, it's with a good bacteria. If people actually knew that, that's why a lot of people are scared of the rind anyway. You always see the cutting board from the cheese plate come back in the kitchen and.
No, I floss with that shit, dude. I'm like,
I love that stuff. It's delicious, man. But it's penicillium, what was it? Camembert tea or whatever, and you inoculate and you get the bloomy rind. That usually takes, I don't know, a week or two.
Right, it's under 30 days.
That's why our brie's firmer.
That our brie is crap.
It's not if you've ever had it,
if you ever had it overseas, that brie melts like warm butter when it's cold. Yeah, like not hot, but like room temperature butter when it's cold. And it's over 30 days. That's when they send it to America.
No, that's just coming in though, because you can get some brie style cheeses in this country that
if they're made here.
If they're made here, yeah, no, that makes sense because the bries that you get from France are firm. And folks, the longer you let that bloomy rind age around that triple cream, it gets firmer.
Right, and so that's what they're doing in France. FYI,
it's not making it to us.
They're doing it, and when they couldn't sell it, they send it here on the 27th day, so we have it by 35 days legally to get in the States.
By the way, here's another fun thing.
So fresh brie to us, the amazing French fresh brie we get is the shit they couldn't get rid of in France.
Well,
I mean, Americans, we make brie, which is different, but it still has to be 30 days.
Yeah, there's some triple
Just so you know, it has to like...
Makes sense.
Unless it doesn't have the rind, which I believe that Marin has the breakfast brie, which is below 30 days. Yeah. It doesn't have the rind. Yeah. But that's a fresh cheese. It's technically brie style, right?
Yeah. That was the first one they ever did to feed the miners looking for gold. That's why they call it the breakfast cheese. They would make that cheese and feed that to miners before they go out for the day to go look for gold.
Dude, so how many miner stories do you know about food? Because I know a bunch.
I know that one.
So carbonara, technically. So carbonara, as if you eat true carbonara, first of all, it doesn't have cream in it. All you guys have put cream in it.
Egg, pancetta.
Yeah, it's egg and pancetta, pepper. And you know why the pepper was on top? So they put pepper on top to mask the dust that was in the air, the actual coal mine that was in the air when they would make it on the side. They would have ash on it. Yeah. And basically they put pepper on it so that you couldn't tell the difference between the pepper coating and the ash, and that's what became carbonara. Is that you would have this dish and you would put cracked black pepper on top and the ash or whatever. When you ate it, you wouldn't know the difference. And that's traditionally where the term carbonara came from.
Yeah.
Bacon, egg, pasta, black pepper.
That was it.
completely.
That was it, man.
Yeah, cigar smoke.
Yeah, no, let me put a bunch of cream in there. Like, no, what are you doing? That's not
Yeah,
what it is.
but that's a true story, man.
Yeah. Oh.
But coal miners, they had, the whole whistling thing. There's all kinds of stuff from coal miner stuff that I've heard back in the day.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me.
None of my family were cool enough to be coal miners. I just know the stories from culinary school. That was it. That was all. What other debunks do you have, dude? I like this. This is a good one.
Let's see. Here's a good one. So everybody will say, is it organic if it's coming in from another country?
Yes.
Okay. So I was working with Minus 8 Vinegar, helping them sell the vinegar, and people are like, is it organic? And then you're talking about, the olive oil from Italy, is it organic? Or the yuzu juice from the farm in Japan, is it organic? Well, in other countries, they don't have to worry about an organic standard because they're already just executing at a cleaner level. We started mass producing food and started altering things to grow more. Like wheat. Wheat's a good example, right? I heard somewhere that wheat is harsher on us and we have more people that are gluten intolerant because it's not actually the wheat. It's our body can't process the denser wheat that we created to grow more per acre, right? So things like yuzu juice coming out of Japan, they're like, oh, is it organic? Well, no, it's not certified organic because other countries are laughing at us because they don't need to do an organic certification because they don't like poisoning their citizens. Their food is cleaner and organic already, so they don't even have to do that standard. But we've created this organic standard in the U.S., which other countries don't adhere to because it's never was an issue for them. People in this country want to grow things and put crap in it so it's got a longer shelf life. It makes us sick, and then we demand organic. I'm like, wait a second, well, the whole rest of the world's laughing at us. It's one that I've heard many times. Now, there's a lot of chefs out there that are trying to debunk that and teach people, but it's going to take a lot of time to educate people. Read the labels at the grocery store, folks. There's crap in our food. There's a lot of crap in our food. And other countries haven't been that way. Like, oh, we have to have pasteurized cheese. Well, I've eaten unpasteurized dairy in Europe and I've never gotten sick. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's awesome, by the way.
Yeah, they know what they're doing and they didn't start cutting corners decades ago. We cut corners and now we're trying to go back to not cutting corners.
Yeah, we decided we needed a shelf life rather than produce and use.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, we created a shelf life for items rather than consumption availability.
We waste 30% of the food that we consume, and we order it, we throw it away, or we grow it. We 30%, I think, is a statistic I've heard a couple
Really?
times. Something like that. Yeah.
That's a huge number, dude.
But look
That's
at all that
huge number, 30%.
Every time I walk around a produce section at a grocery store, I'm like, how many times is this all getting depleted and replenished, or how many times are they actually just taking stuff and throwing it away? Even at the produce section, it always seems so...
Not at the Mexican mart over here.
Yeah.
You can tell. They left some stuff for some people, and they'll just be like, we'll give you that to you half off. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh,
all right.
I'll put it in a soup. that'll go in the crock pot later.
Yeah.
We won't tell anybody.
Yeah, but still, it's
I'm cool with it, but...
I get asked that question all the time. I'd like to... And Brad from Minus 8, he's like, no, I'm never going to get organic certified. We don't put crap on our fields and our wine. Why would we do it to our vinegar?
And the people need to understand the amount of money, and I don't know the exact amount, and I don't know, I haven't done it, so... but the amount of money it takes to be organically certified is outrageous.
Yeah, and doesn't it? It's like something like 3 or 4 years for the soil to get to where
it's soil, it's everything, it's time, it's
testing
money.
soil.
So the fact that you pay more for it doesn't actually mean that the product or the seed they're using is better. It means it doesn't have extra shit in it for longevity.
Yeah,
there's no better quality to it rather than the original product. Now, some people they might be growing the best seed. And it might be in the best condition, so they paid for the best everything to hold that stance, and good for them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I want to buy that. I want to spend the money on it. Some people said, I have a crappy product. I'm going to put organic on it. I'm still going to do a lesser value product with an organic stamp on it. Then I'm going to sell it at a premium because now I have an organic product where there isn't one anywhere else.
Hey, the organic tomatoes at the grocery store in December are still crap.
Yeah, they're still
December.
They're the same stuff, right?
They cost $1 more a pound, but they're still off season. They still look like crap.
That stamp does not mean better than.
Yeah.
It means it just didn't have as much shit in it to preserve it.
The only time you're going to see better quality is when you start talking heirloom, and that's talking about the seed that has not been genetically altered.
That's the actual product.
Yeah, that's the seed. That's why they say heirloom tomato, heirloom eggplant, and they look really crazy different, or heirloom broccoli.
Well, they don't look like a standardized unit of measure.
That's what it was supposed to be like, and then we started altering it to grow more and mass produce. And
I love that. Somebody said the other day, I ordered these heirloom tomatoes. He was a newer chef, and he goes, and I was trying to make it, and then they wanted to take a picture of it, and I was like, well, I can't just take a picture of one. They all look different. And then the owner was like, well, why don't you get them all the same? He's like, well, they're heirloom tomatoes. Like they grow, man. Like we pick them when they pick them, when they're done.
Yeah.
And it's a true story. Like people just
the way it was.
What's the consistency?
We pivoted away from that a long time ago, and now we're trying to pivot back. And there's a lot of unwiring of programming that needs to transpire before people get it. It's not all supposed to look the same, and it's a good thing. And it's a good thing things are only available certain times a year. Yeah,
they got this new thing on the internet. I was laughing the other day. It's like buy ugly vegetables. And it's these vegetables that like weren't cool enough.
Yeah.
Which all the carrots kind of look like double-headed dildos, which I'm like, oh, you're just selling this as a joke. Come on, dude. If you've seen the ad, you're like, and everybody's like laughing. You're like, come on, bro. I get what you're trying to sell, I guess. But you're like, come on, man. Like what? I mean, but that's like a real thing. Like people are actually acknowledging that like not good-looking fruit is not making it into the market.
Yeah.
Why? A carrot's a carrot, man.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I want to eat things when it looks delicious in season. But we know that. How do you get everybody else to understand that? It's going to be time, but there's some talented people out there trying to make steps in that direction to educate, and that's really what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, it's called Facebook, right?
Yeah, right, Facebook.
All you guys posting your funny pictures. I know how it goes. Right on, man. Well, did you try both these Laura Chanels? I know you have a long time ago. They're both really good, man. Cheese and oil and bread to me is, next to godsend, really. I think cheese and cheese making and people that do it are all some of the coolest people in the world. They just hang out and they take wonderful alive, like milk is a live thing, and they add a culture to it that's alive, and they watch it, and when it's done, they eat it and they drink wine with it. And really, there's not much more to life than you want, right? And those of you that can sell it or make wine or do whatever, that's where I want to die, with those people.
The rennet, the enzyme, the rennet,
yeah, it's alive. Yeah, you take it. You had to take one live thing, add another live thing to it, let it culture, like yogurt or anything, any sort of cheese or like dairy making, and you just wait patiently, and life gets good.
It's amazing.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah, Laura Chanel does amazing stuff. Amazing.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I was like, "That's weird. Doesn't she make clothes?" Like, I had no idea what I was talking about. Obviously,
I have no idea.
I've learned.
I don't know, but they take the Laura Chanel Chev that everybody loves, comes in the tub, roll it out, cut it, let it sit for I think 3 days, and then put it in this California olive ranch olive oil with herbs and peppercorns. Amazing stuff. And it's firm enough where you could do a little like brioche dusting on it. And
yeah, it's good.
Do a little like light seared, serve it on top of a salad with beets or something.
I don't like beets. They taste like dirt.
I love beets.
With that being said, you and the last, they all grow in shit.
Yeah.
Just so you know, that beet was once a pile of turd.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Delicious.
With that being said, I hope you guys have a shitty break for a minute, and we'll be back in one more second after this.